Hello everyone, today we are going to learn Chapter 13, The Value of Work from your Social Science textbook. In this video, I'll be covering each and every line from the chapter so you don't miss anything important. Make sure to keep your notebook and pen ready and take notes while watching. This will help you remember the concepts better. You can pause or rewind any time to write things down. So, let's begin. When you're doing any work, do not think of anything beyond. Do it as worship, as the highest worship, and devote your whole life to it for the time being. Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was a great Indian spiritual leader, philosopher, and social reformer. He introduced Indian ideas of Vedanta and yoga to the world and strongly believed in selfless service, hard work, and dedication. He taught that serving society with sincerity and discipline is a form of worship. In this quote, Swami Vivekananda tells us that whatever work we do, we should do it with full dedication and honesty. We should not be distracted or think about rewards or results. Instead, we should treat our work as worship and give it our complete effort. This message connects with the chapter by reminding us that both economic and non-economic activities have value when done sincerely. Whether we study, work, or help others, doing our duty with dedication improves our life and our society. So the big questions are, what are the different types of activities that people engage in? What is their contribution to our everyday lives? We will find answer for these questions in this chapter. Anu and Kabir were playing in the park when they saw their neighbor Geeta Aunty getting out of her taxi. She was returning home from work and was in her uniform. A pilot in the Indian Air Force, she is the pride of the whole town. So Anu and Kabir were playing in a park when they noticed their neighbor Geeta Aunty getting down from a taxi. She was returning home from her workplace and was dressed in her official uniform. Geeta Aunty works as a pilot in the Indian Air Force. Because of her important and honorable job, she is respected by everyone and is considered the pride of the entire town. Here Anu is telling Kabir that, Kabir, Auntie's uniform looks a lot like the one I saw at your house yesterday, but the color is different. Now Kabir replies, that uniform on the hanger belongs to my grandfather. He retired from the border security force and now spends his time. So Kabir explains Anu that the uniform she saw at his house belongs to his grandfather. He tells her that his grandfather retired from the border security force, that is BSF, and after retirement, he now spends his time at home doing other activities, providing free geography classes to the neighborhood kids. So after retiring from the BSF, his grandfather spends his time providing free geography classes to the children in the neighborhood, tending to our vegetable garden and running errands for the home. Tending means taking care of something regularly. When we say someone is tending to a garden, it means they are watering the plants, removing weeds and looking after them so that they grow well. Running errands means doing small but important outside tasks for home. That is, he is doing daily tasks like buying groceries, paying bills, going to the bank, or visiting nearby shops to help the family. Now Anu tells, my parents run a shop that sells uniforms and other ready-made garments. Appa leaves early in the morning and Ma joins him in the shop after we leave for school. So Anu's parents own and run a shop which sells uniforms and ready-made clothes. Her father, whom she calls Appa, leaves home early in the morning to open the shop. Her mother, Ma, comes to the shop later after Anu goes to school. So both her parents are working together to run their family business. Ma is usually back by the time we return home from school. She also contributes to a voluntary group that teaches knitting to the women in the community. So Anu's mother usually comes home by the time they return from school. Apart from helping in the shop, she is also involved in a voluntary group. And through this group, she helps teach knitting to women in the community. Do you remember my elder brother Rohan? You met him when he came to pick me up from school. He is a software engineer and works in a company that makes computer applications. On the weekends, he volunteers to teach computer skills to those who have joined the youth development program of the nearby college. So Anu reminds Kabir about her elder brother Rohan, whom Kabir had met earlier at school. Rohan works as a software engineer in a company that creates computer applications. Even after his regular job, Rohan uses his free time in a positive way. And on weekends, he volunteers to teach computer skills to students who are part of a youth development program at a nearby college. Now, Kabir says, "Wow, Anu, everyone around us does so many things every day. Let's explore. What activities did the people in Anu's and Kabir's story engage in? Mention them in the table given below." So we need to identify the different activities or types of work done by the people mentioned in Anu's and Kabir's story. You need to list what each person does, their job or the work they perform at home or in society. So read the story carefully, remember who did what, and then fill in the activities. Character in the story and activities they are engaged in. So first we saw Geeta auntie, who is a pilot in the Indian Air Force. And then Kabir's grandfather. He is a retired BSF personnel, teaches geography, tends vegetable garden, runs errands for the home. Then Anu's father runs a shop selling uniforms and ready-made garments. Anu's mother helps in the shop, teaches knitting through a voluntary group. Anu's brother, software engineer, volunteers to teach computer skills on weekends. Different types of activities like the ones discussed above are divided into two groups or categories: economic activities and non-economic activities. So, the activities we discussed earlier are of many kinds. To understand them better, we divide these activities into two groups. One group includes activities which are done to earn income, and they are called economic activities. The other group includes activities which are done without the aim of earning money, and they are called non-economic activities. Economic activities are those that involve money or are performed in exchange for money or money's worth for the parties involved. For example, a business person selling school bags in the market, a farmer selling produce in the market, a lawyer arguing a case and earning a fee, a truck driver transporting goods from one place to another, workers employed in a car manufacturing factory, etc. Money's worth, the monetary value that a person places on an object based on the benefit that they derive from it. So money's worth means how much value an object has in terms of money based on how useful it is to a person. Different people may value the same object differently because the benefit they receive from it may not be the same. Market, a place where people engage in the exchange of goods and services. People may exchange goods and services for other goods, but in most markets, these are exchanged for money. So a market is any place where buying and selling takes place. Sometimes goods or services can be exchanged for other goods, but in most markets today, goods and services are exchanged for money. Fee, a payment made to a person or organization in exchange for professional advice or services. For example, a fee paid to a doctor and a lawyer. So, a fee is the amount of money paid to a person or an organization in return for their professional advice or services. For example, we pay a doctor's fee for medical treatment and a lawyer's fee for legal advice. So, economic activities are those activities that are done to earn money or something equal to money, which is called money's worth. When people work to earn income, they are doing economic activities. For example, a business person sells school bags in the market to earn money. A farmer sells crops. A lawyer argues cases and earns a fee. A truck driver transports goods. And factory workers help manufacture cars. All these activities involve earning money, so they are called economic activities. Non-economic activities are those that do not generate income or wealth but are done out of feelings like gratitude, love, care, and respect. For instance, parents cooking food for the family or helping their children with schoolwork, youth taking care of the grandparents, family members helping in the renovation of the house, etc. So, non-economic activities or activities that are not done to earn money. People do these activities because of feelings like gratitude, love, care, and respect. For example, parents cook food for the family and help their children with schoolwork. Youth take care of their grandparents, and family members may help in renovating the house. These activities do not generate income, but they are very important for family and society. Let's explore. In the table given on page 185, did you notice the third empty column? Label this column economic or non-economic activity. Now classify them according to the nature of activity. So we will label this third column as economic or non-economic activity. If the activity is done to earn money or money's worth, write economic activity. And if the activity is done out of love, care or responsibility and not for money, write non-economic activity. Geeta aunty earns a salary for her service, so it is an economic activity. And Kabir's grandfather is not getting paid. He does these activities out of service and responsibility. So it is a non-economic activity. And Anu's father earns income through business. So it is an economic activity. And Anu's mother helping in the shop is an economic activity, and teaching knitting voluntarily, it is a non-economic activity. And Anu's brother works as a software engineer for salary. It is an economic activity. And volunteering to teach, it is a non-economic activity. In Anu's and Kabir's story, Geeta aunty, the Air Force pilot, receives a salary. She serves the country and performs an economic activity too. Anu's brother Rohan works for a software company and is given a salary for it. Over the weekend, he also volunteers at the youth development program of the nearby college, where he teaches computer skills to young adults. This is a non-economic activity. Salary, a fixed regular payment generally paid monthly by an employer to an employee. So, a salary is the fixed amount of money that a person gets every month from their employer for the work they do. For example, a teacher, nurse, police officer or office worker gets a salary at the end of every month. So, in Anu's and Kabir's story, Geeta aunty is an Air Force pilot. She receives a salary for her service to the country. So, her work is an economic activity. Similarly, Anu's brother Rohan earns a salary by working in a software company, which is also an economic activity. However, on weekends when he volunteers to teach computer skills to young adults, he is not paid. Since this work is done out of social responsibility and goodwill, it is a non-economic activity. Think about it. When Kabir's grandfather voluntarily teaches the neighborhood kids for free, is that an economic activity or a non-economic activity? How is it different from your teachers teaching you at school? Discuss with your classmates. So, you need to think and compare two situations. Kabir's grandfather teaching children for free and your teacher teaching you at school. By comparing this, you understand which one is an economic activity, which one is a non-economic activity, and why they are different. First, is Kabir's grandfather's teaching an economic activity or not? Kabir's grandfather teaches the neighborhood children for free. Since he does not take any money or payment, this is a non-economic activity. He is doing this out of care, interest, and a wish to help others. So how is this different from your teachers teaching you at school? Your teachers at school teach you as part of their job. They are paid a salary every month. They are hired by school to provide education. So their teaching is an economic activity because they earn money through it. What are some non-economic activities that are important to you and your family? Why are they valuable? So, you need to identify non-economic activities done by you and your family. Explain why are they important even though no money is earned from them. Remember, non-economic activities are done out of love, care and responsibility, not for money. Sample answer. Some non-economic activities that are important to my family and me include parents cooking food at home, helping children with studies, taking care of grandparents, and spending time together. Family members also help one another during festivals, illness, or household work without expecting any payment. These activities are valuable because they build strong relationships, create emotional support, and ensure the well being of family members. Even though they do not generate income, they play a very important role in maintaining happiness and harmony in the family. Types of economic activities. Kavya was excited to go to her aunt's house in the village of Kamalapur. On the way, she saw that a highway was being built near the village, and the construction site was abuzz with activity. Large machines such as excavators and bulldozers were being operated by dedicated technicians. So Kavya was very happy because she was going to visit her aunt in the village of Kamalapur. While traveling there, she noticed that a new highway was being constructed near the village. The whole construction site was very busy and full of activity. Many big machines like excavators and bulldozers were working. These machines were being handled by trained technicians. A buzz means full of noise and activity. And excavator is a large machine used for digging. It has a big arm with a bucket. It is used to dig soil, make roads, and lift heavy things at construction sites. Bulldozer. It is a powerful machine used for pushing soil or stones. A bulldozer has a big metal blade in the front. It pushes mud, rocks, and sand to clear the land or level the ground for building roads. This new highway promised to reduce the travel time to the nearest town from 5 hours to just 2 hours. Kavya thought she would be able to visit her aunt more often once the highway was ready, since it would take less time to travel there. Happy with this thought, Kavya ran to greet her aunt and to eat the delicious jalebis that she had made. They were joined by Kavya's uncle who had just returned home from work. He is a technician in a construction company and operates a bulldozer. He receives a monthly salary for his services. So this new highway being built will reduce the travel time from 5 hours to only 2 hours. Kavya becomes happy thinking that once the road is ready, she can visit her aunt more often because the journey will be much quicker. When she reaches the house, her aunt welcomes her with delicious jalebis. Soon after, her uncle also comes home, who works as a technician in a construction company and operates a bulldozer at the worksite. Since he is an employee, he is paid a monthly salary for the work he does. This is an example of an economic activity because he receives money for his service. The next day, Kavya's aunt woke up early to finish her share of the household chores and left for work. She is employed at the village post office and is paid a monthly salary. In the evening, after her office work, she also conducts online classes to help students prepare for school exams. She charges a weekly fee for these classes. So the next day, Kavya's aunt woke up very early to complete her household chores before leaving for work. Her aunt works at the village post office, and for this job, she gets a fixed monthly salary. And after her office work, she also teaches students through online classes in the evening. She helps them prepare for their school exams and charges a weekly fee for these classes. So Kavya's aunt does two types of economic activities. One where she earns a salary and another where she earns a fee. On the weekend, Kavya visited a local mango orchard with her aunt to have some delicious mangoes. An orchard is a piece of land where fruit or nut trees are grown. For example, a mango orchard is a place where mango trees are planted and looked after to produce mangoes. So on the weekend, Kavya and her aunt visited a nearby mango orchard to enjoy delicious mangoes. There she saw Sahil, a farm laborer who was using a tractor to till a farmer's land nearby. He earns a daily wage for his efforts. He gets some payment for his work in cash and the remaining part of the payment in the form of mangoes of equal value. The mangoes that he receives as part of his work are called payment in kind. Wage, a payment made by the employer to the worker for a specific period of time. So, a wage is the money a worker is paid for the time they work, such as per day or per hour. It is commonly given to workers like construction laborers or factory helpers. Payment in kind, a non-cash payment that is received for the work performed. So, payment in kind means getting something other than money for the work you do. For example, a farm worker may be given grain or food instead of cash, or a helper might receive free accommodation or meals for their work. Till meals to prepare the soil for planting crops. Farmers or laborers till the land using tools or machines like tractors. It involves loosening and turning the soil so seeds can grow properly. So, at the mango orchard, Kavya noticed Sahil, who works as a farm laborer. He was driving a tractor to till the land, which means he was preparing the soil for farming. Sahil is paid every day for his work. This is called a daily wage. But he doesn't receive all his payment in money. Part of his wage is given in cash and the rest is given in mangoes equal to the value of the remaining amount. So when someone is paid through goods instead of money, it is called payment in kind. Think about it. On your way from home to school today, can you recall the various economic activities that people are engaged in? In what ways do you think those people are paid? So, observe your surroundings on the way from home to school. Identify economic activities people are doing. Think about how they are paid for their work, like salary, wage, fee, etc. Sample answer. When I travel from home to school, I see many economic activities. Shopkeepers selling groceries and earning money through profit. Bus drivers and conductors earning a monthly salary. Street vendors selling fruits and vegetables and earning daily income. Construction workers working at a site who usually earn daily wages. And auto drivers earn money from each ride they get. These people are paid in different ways. Some get salaries, some get daily wages, and some earn profits from selling goods. So people earn money in different forms, but all these are economic activities because they help them earn money. As we now understand, economic activities are those that have value in terms of money. Economic activities also add value at each stage of the process of transforming something into another form. This is called value addition. So now we have learned that economic activities are activities that involve money or money's worth. At each step of production, some extra value is added to the product. For example, when raw materials are changed into finished goods, the product becomes more useful and more valuable. This increase in value at every stage is known as value addition. Let us take the example of Kavya's father, Rajesh, to understand this. So now to understand value addition more clearly, let us take the example of Kavya's father, Rajesh. Through his work, we will see how each step adds value and increases the worth of a product. Rajesh is a carpenter who buys wood from a nearby market for rupees 600 to make furniture. So Kavya's father works as a carpenter. He buys raw material, that is wood, from the market for 600 rupees. He uses special tools and other materials for building the furniture. So to make furniture, he uses special tools, equipment and other materials. These help him shape the wood properly and improve the quality and usefulness of the furniture. Rajesh sells a chair for rupees 1000 each in the market. So after using his skills, tools and labor, Rajesh converts wood into a chair and sells it in the market for 1000 rupees. The increase in price from the cost of the raw wood shows value addition, as the finished product is more useful than the raw material. The wood for the chair cost 600 rupees. So what is the remaining 400? That is 1000 minus 604. It is the monetary value of Rajesh's skill, time and effort which went into making that chair. Rajesh has added value to the wood by turning it into furniture. From buying the wood to selling the chair, these activities involve payment. They are therefore a part of economic activities. So the wood used to make the chair cost 600 rupees, but Rajesh sells the finished chair for 1000 rupees. So the extra 400 is not extra money without reason. It is the monetary value of Rajesh's skill, hard work, time and experience. By using his skills and tools, Rajesh has added value to the wood by turning it into useful furniture. So from buying the wood to selling the chair, money is involved at every step. So all these activities come under economic activities. Let's explore. Put a tick mark against those activities or professions that you think create monetary value. Can you add 2 activities and examples of money-related value creation to the empty rows at the end? So you need to identify activities that create monetary value. Put a tick mark against those activities. Add 2 new activities in the empty rows and give examples of how these activities create money-related value. First, we have baker who sells bread and bakery items for money. It is an economic activity. So, you can put a tick mark. Tailor stitches clothes and earns income. This is also an economic activity. Farmers repairing their tractor. This is a self-use work. So, it is not done to earn money. So, it is a non-economic activity. Doctor provides medical service and charges a fee. So, it is an economic activity. Then, parents cooking dinner for their family. This is done out of love and care, so no payment is involved. So, it is a non-economic activity. Then, scientist works for an organization and earns a salary for research. So, it is an economic activity. Person taking care of a sick grandparent. This is done out of responsibility and affection. This is not for money. So, it is a non-economic activity. So, now you need to add 2 simple activities with money-related value creation. So, you can write example like electrician who repairs electrical fittings and earns money for the service. And taxi or auto driver who transports people from one place to another and earns fare. These activities create monetary value because the service provided is exchanged for money. The importance of non-economic activities. While non-economic activities may not involve money, the value they generate is important in our lives. So, even though non-economic activities do not involve money, they are still very valuable. Activities like caring for family members, helping others, or doing household work create emotional support, happiness, and strong relationships, which are essential for a good life. Seva, selfless service. We see seva in many places such as temples, gurudwaras, mosques, and churches. For instance, langars or community kitchens at gurudwaras serve food to every visitor for free. These practices foster a sense of satisfaction and gratitude for what we have, and they are also a way of contributing to society without expecting anything in return. So, we often see seva or selfless service in places of worship like temples, gurudwaras, mosques, and churches. A good example is the langar in a gurudwara, where food is served freely to everyone without any discrimination. Such practices help people develop gratitude and satisfaction and remind us of the importance of helping others without expecting anything in return. The strength of community participation. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is based on the collective efforts of all Indian citizens to keep our surroundings clean. Individually, we keep our homes and surroundings clean. People have also come together to clean up streets, roads, parks, and other public places or community areas. Together, these efforts lead to a clean home, neighborhood, society, and nation. So, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is a cleanliness mission for the whole country. It works on the idea that everyone must do their part to keep India clean. Each person keeps their own home and nearby area clean, and people also join together to clean public places like streets, roads, parks, and community areas. When many people make small efforts, it results in a clean neighborhood, then a clean society, and finally a clean nation. So the message is that cleanliness is not just one person's job, it is everyone's responsibility. Another example of collective community participation is the celebration of Van Mahotsav, the festival of forest in India, to promote awareness about the value of trees and the conservation of forests. The initiative brings together members of the community for tree plantation drives. So, Van Mahotsav is another good example of collective community participation. It is celebrated to make people aware of the value of trees and forests. During this festival, people from the community come together to plant trees and protect nature. It is a good example of collective community participation because everyone joins hands to protect nature. Think about it. Many communities in India have similar practices that involve community participation. Can you identify a few from your area? So, you need to think about activities in your own locality where people come together and participate as a group. These activities may not involve earning money, but they help the community, improve the neighborhood, or celebrate culture. This could include festivals, cleaning drives, charity events, tree planting, helping during celebrations, community kitchens, etc. Sample answer. In my area, there are several community activities where people participate together. Temple festival celebrations. People work together to decorate the temple, distribute prasad, and organize cultural programs. Cleanliness drives. Residents gather to clean nearby streets and paths. Tree plantation drives. School students and local groups plant saplings during Environment Day. Onam, Vishu, Eid, or Christmas celebrations. Families cook food, decorate the place, and share meals together. Community sports events. Local youth organize cricket or football matches for everyone. We celebrate many festivals in India. During these festivals, people gather to organize all the various activities. They decorate the place together and share the food that they cook. Are these non-economic activities? Why do you think they still hold value? So, we celebrate many festivals, and during these festivals, people in the neighborhood or community come together. They decorate the place, cook food, help each other, and enjoy the celebration. No one does these activities to earn money. So, the question is, even though no money is involved, why are these activities still important for people and for society? Sample answer. Yes, these are non-economic activities because people do not participate in them to earn money. Their main purpose is joy, celebration, tradition, and togetherness, not income. Even though they do not bring money, they still hold great value because they strengthen relationships, they preserve culture and traditions, they bring happiness and emotional satisfaction. They create unity and cooperation. They improve social well-being. Can you identify community programs that have been undertaken by your school or in your locality? What did you observe during these programs? So, you need to think about any community programs that your school or your neighborhood has organized. These could be activities where people come together to help others or improve the community, like cleanliness drives, tree planting, charity events, or awareness campaigns. After identifying such a program, you have to describe what you saw during it. For example, what people were doing, how they worked together, what the purpose was, and how everyone contributed. Sample answer. In my school, a cleanliness drive was organized. Teachers, students, and some parents came together to clean the playground and nearby streets. I observed that everyone worked as a team. Some people picked up plastic waste, others swept the area, and some collected the garbage in bags. Everyone was helping each other, and the place looked much cleaner after the program. It made me realize how much we can achieve when we work together. Before we move on, in this chapter, we learned about economic and non-economic activities. So, in this chapter, we learned about economic and non-economic activities and how both play an important role in our daily lives and in the development of society. Economic activities are activities that involve earning money or are done in exchange for money. Example, farmers selling crops, teachers receiving salary, shopkeepers selling goods, and non-economic activities or activities done without expecting money. They are done for love, care, service, or enjoyment. Example, parents cooking at home, helping a friend, or volunteering in the community. We also learnt about the value addition that economic activities create. So, we also learnt about value addition. Value addition means increasing the worth of something by improving it. For example, when a carpenter buys wood and turns it into a chair, the chair is worth more than the raw wood. This extra value comes from the skill, time, and effort used in the process. We understood how non-economic activities contribute to social welfare, personal well-being, and enhance the overall quality of life. So, non-economic activities do not involve earning money, but they are still very important. These activities, like helping family members, taking care of elders, teaching someone for free, or participating in a community cleaning, these activities make society better, build relationships, create happiness, and improve everyone's quality of life. They help us feel connected, cared for, and supported. So with this, we have completed the chapter, The Value of Work. I hope you found it easy to understand. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. We will see you again in our next video. Bye bye.